This is a link to about a 40-second segment within a TED Talk hosted as an MP4 file. Once you've got the starting second and the end second for the clip, you can tack that onto the URL as a fragment, and most HTML5 audio players now will just play you the segment. So it'll start at 2403.
In the original Whole Earth Catalog, you ended it with this powerful phrase that, we are as gods and might as well get good at it.
Now I'll just skip to the end of that clip.
Oh, by the way, that isn't what you originally wrote in that first 1968 Whole Earth Catalog. You wrote, we are as gods and might as well get used to it. I'd forgotten that entirely.
Once you've isolated the clip, there are all sorts of ways to use it. Here, for example, I'm in the Wikipedia page for the Whole Earth Catalog that talks about the origin of that phrase. And actually, that's wrong. So I added a note to Wikipedia. The note is a link to that audio clip. And I've also made a hypothesis annotation here that captures the quote in line.
Right back in the original Whole Earth Catalog.
It's easy to use a link like that. The tricky part is creating it in the first place. It's actually surprisingly complicated to establish the intro to the clip and even more so in some ways the outro. So I've been working on a tool to help simplify that process of capturing the intro and the outro. This is the HTML5 video version of the tool. So I'm going to drop in the URL to the MP4 file that is that video. The interface embeds an HTML5 video player, just like one we were looking at a minute ago. Then there's an extra control here, which is a two-handled slider that's going to capture the beginning and the end of a clip. As I move these sliders around, I adjust the intro time and the outro time. At any point, these links reflect that clip. So this link here is going to take us right back into this editor at the same settings. This link here is a player for the clip with those settings. So at any point, I can click play clip.
But in some ways, the safest way, because when you try to...
It'll play through, in this case, 16 minutes. We don't want to go that long. But if I narrow this down to just 3 seconds, you'll see that it'll play that 3-second clip.
But in some ways, the safest way, because when you try to horse the whole...
And I can also adjust these handles either a minute at a time.
I mean, tell me about this image here.
It's my idea of, I wanted that to be the case, but...
Or a second at a time.
I wanted that to be the case, but on LSD, I was getting higher and higher in my 100 micrograms.
Wherever I am with the beginning and end handles, I can check the current intro.
My 100 micrograms on the roof of San Francisco.
So that'll play the first couple of seconds, starting at 3:10 to 3:13. And this should play from 12:50 to 12:53. So I can check the end of the clip.
Who's already moved the genes for...
Okay. I need to find the beginning of the clip I'm looking for first. And usually I'll have some idea of where it was in the program. Here I know it's somewhere in the second half, I think. So park the end clip handle out here for the time being. So I'm just going to start looking for that section of the video. One way I can do that is just using the native slider.
Destructive.
While it's playing, I can repeatedly click capture to set provisional intro points.
Curses of modern times, and that it's a huge contributor to climate. It's a huge contributor to climate change.
Another way to do it is to step through, let's say, a minute at a time.
A hairy, curly, is moving right along.
Well,
by the way, that isn't what you originally wrote in that first...
Ah, there it is. So I'm pretty close. I think at this point I'll just back up and try to find the beginning.
And some ownership.
Powerful phrase that, we are with this powerful phrase that, we are as gods.
Let's check where we are.
With this powerful phrase that, we are as gods. Ended it with catalog, the original Whole Earth Catalog. You ended it with the original Whole Earth Catalog. You ended it with...
Okay, that's where I want to be for the start. Now I can play and listen for the end.
With this powerful phrase that, we are as gods and might as well get good at it.
At this point, if I capture the end...
Certainly you've upgraded that statement, and I want you to talk about this philosophy.
I've got about 12 seconds. Remember, the original clip was around 40 seconds. If I didn't know where it ended, I could just start extending the end this way.
I went to philosophy.
Well, one thing is documentation is better than memory by far.
A couple more seconds.
68 whole earth catalog. You wrote, we are as gods and might as well get used to it. I've forgotten that entirely.
Okay, so check the beginning.
The original whole earth catalog. You ended it with.
Check the end.
I've forgotten that entirely.
Okay, cool. So we have the clip. This link takes us right back to the editor with those settings. And this link is the player with those settings.
The original whole earth catalog.
Which, as we've seen, is a link that can be, well, you can use it anywhere. The exact same mechanism works for html5 audio. So here's that same clip in the audio editor.
The original whole earth catalog. You ended it with.
You can also use the same interface for a YouTube video. In this case, there is a YouTube of the same video. So we can compare, drop the ID of the YouTube video. And here's the beginning of the clip that we've saved.
The original whole earth catalog. You ended.
I've forgotten that entirely.
In the end, the editor comes back here. And the player in this case is, of course, the YouTube player.
The original whole earth catalog.